Welcome to Lightning Tutorials. These tutorials are short, sweet, and to the point, so let's jump right in. As many of you are aware, Edpuzzle is a phenomenal online application which allows teachers to create interactive video assignments. Their capabilities have improved tremendously since their founding, and if you're looking to flip your classroom, Edpuzzle is a go-to site. Or maybe you're like me, and Edpuzzle is helpful for virtual learning or when you are absent. This is me during virtual instruction, providing an entire lesson through Edpuzzle, including time to stop and read, and a read aloud for my reading students. It stops at various points, it asks particular questions, it's interactive. Unfortunately, Edpuzzle's pricing structure has increased dramatically. We're talking more than doubling in a year's time frame for a pro account. So if you're used to a pro account and you are getting locked out, then Nearpod is a very viable option, provided that you have access to it. As a disclaimer, I would skip this video if you've used Nearpod before, but are just curious about Edpuzzle similarities. You can skip to the next video. Everyone else, stay here. Now, if you're in my district, you'll find Nearpod via LCPS Go. When you click on it, you'll find yourself on this screen. So think of Nearpod as a one-stop shop for making your lessons interactive. You can put just about anything in a Nearpod lesson: Google Slides, quiz games, drawing prompts, polls, virtual reality tours, flip grids, open-ended questions, you name it, it's probably there. If you're used to jumping back and forth between various digital activities and slides in one day, then Nearpod will streamline this process for you. So here's how you make a lesson. Click Create a Lesson, of course, and click Add Content and Activities. Then Slides, and you can build from here. You can pick a theme. You can call this your first slide. Yep. And if you want to keep going with that, you just go down here and click Save and Add New. And here you have slide number 2. And you'll notice everything that you might be familiar with Google Slides is up here. You can change the font, you can add images to it, you can change the background out, you can add a video, audio, you can even add GIFs. So let's say 2 slides, that's it, that's good for me. I'm gonna go ahead and click Save. And now when I present this lesson to the class, there's 2 slides, it'll go through those first 2 slides. But let's say after those first 2 slides, I want a different activity, but I want them to stay in this lesson that I'm presenting. So I'm going to add content and activities, and I'm going to scroll for more. Let's go with Collaborate Board. If you're familiar with Padlet, this should look similar to that. And it's a collaborative topic. So we'll say, tell me 2 truths and a lie about yourself. The description, you can add media. Everything in here is pretty self-explanatory. You can even add a sample post here, then click Save. Now, when I present my lesson, it'll go first slide to second slide to collaborative board, and then the students will be in the lesson. They'll be able to add posts to that collaborative board. And there's all sorts of other activities I can add in there for them to jump into without going to a separate website, and you won't have to go to a separate website either. Now, let's say you don't want to build from scratch, or you're just used to Google Slides and you prefer them. So instead of adding content and activities, you'll click Upload Files, and you can click the Drive button, and you can locate whatever set of Google Slides it is that you want to import into this lesson. So if you would just prefer to keep making your Google Slides the way that you've always made them, or you already have Google Slides pre-made that you want to add to with other activities, then just upload it in here and it will get added into this interface. And you can move things around. Maybe you want them to go to the collaborative board after the first slide and then move into the second slide for more information. You can do that as well. Now let's go ahead and change this from untitled lesson to test lesson. And save and exit. Okay, our lesson is now in our lesson library, and I can click live participation. Now, if I put this tab up on my board in the front of the class, then students will come in, they will go to join.nearpod.com, and they will add this code, and boom, they are in the lesson. They're able to see that first slide. And once you start to present and you click on to the next slide, that is our collaborative board. You can give them time to add to this board, and they'll be able to see them adding to the board in real time. You can even hide student names. So if they feel a little reticent having their name up there in front of everyone else, you can go ahead and hide that, but you'll be able to see who said what. You can click here, it says student paced off. You can have students move at their own pace starting from the current slide. So you can toggle back and forth between teacher paced and student paced. So let's say you only really want to cover the first half of the lesson as a whole group. So that's fine. You go ahead and turn on student paced whenever you feel like it, and they can continue on. They can now go past this collaborative slide, whereas before you would have to go to the next slide for them to be able to move on. So that's it. Those are the very basics, but you're here to learn how to use Nearpod as a replacement for Edpuzzle. Part 2 of this series will cover exactly that.